Yo, what is going on, everybody? Man, it's been 1 month since my last video. 1 month. And a lot has happened since then. So much. And I'm going to do my best to make this not as long, but long enough. And yeah, it's just been a lot. So, what's going on, you guys? My name is Vincent Julius. And I just like to talk, you know? Let's start with this. We have a new addition to the family, our daughter, Anaya, born on February 15th, 2024. Right in this room behind me, our bedroom. It was a water birth, and she's 2 months now. Well, I guess, yeah, 2 months now. I love her. My son, he's loving her. From my observation, it looks like he's waiting for her to get bigger so that way he can throw balls at her. He's already thrown once in front of me, but he's already thrown a ball at her head. And the first one wasn't a softball either. Kind of hard. And he did it 2 other times with his mother. I was gone to work, so he's ready to play. He's excited. He loves her. He gives her kisses, gives her hugs. You know, he's a 1-year-old, but he's being, adorable in this place, and I'm trying to enjoy. I'm enjoying all of that right there with him. I'm enjoying every little bit of it, and it's precious. I am blessed beyond measure. We are blessed beyond measure. Now let me get to the gritty stuff now, okay? Because I like to be real. I want to be vulnerable. I want to be straightforward with you guys, and why I do these videos. I do these videos to help others to be able to speak up about things that they have going on in their life, and not just to talk it out like what I'm doing, but for those who've talked with me in the past to now, like I'll open up. I'll talk. To let you know what's going on with me, but not to be like, hey, I need therapy. It's more like, this is where I'm at. It kind of helps you understand me better and how I think. And so that hopefully by me doing that, others can give me something of them. So that way I can better understand them and how they think and how they behave and all those things, right? It just makes the conversation more beautiful, more colorful versus, the bland talk of nothing. There's a lot of us that does the nothing talk. We ain't talking about nothing besides what do you do for work? Where'd you graduate at? What's your favorite TV show? What's your favorite shoe? What's your favorite sport? It's all those things. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but there's no color in those conversations. It doesn't really, in my personal opinion, it doesn't really get too far. And I like being able to, have some real heartfelt conversations that lead to something, me learning more about you in a sense where, I know what your passions are. I know what your biggest dislikes are. I know what you love, what you hate. You know what I mean? Like getting to know you so that way when I talk with you, I can come in a better manner. I can come in a better place towards you. You know what I mean? Like I'm able to just talk with you. You know what I'm saying? Versus just trying to like play this game of hide and go seek in our conversations. I'll engage you and I'll ask you questions, and I hear something, I'll add to it, and not add to it, but I'll engage it. I'll kind of challenge it. You know what I mean? To kind of get you open up, and not everybody does it. Whatever. Okay. So that's why I do these videos. Okay. So, baby is born. I'm so grateful. Thank God. Let's go back a little further. Let's say I think January. My car gets repoed. I was almost done with it. I was behind on payments. I was playing catch up because of lack of funds coming in. My lease was up June or July. I was really close. And yeah, they took it. It was something else waking up in the morning and seeing your car gone. For those who've had their car repoed, it's not a great feeling. And what I was feeling well, before the car was repoed, you know, there was a bit of pride in having a car that's a 2021, drives well, it feels well. You know, you feel good in a new car. You know, who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? But that car became a hindrance to me. It started to really get in the way financially with our bills and stuff. And it was like a good hit chunk to our bills. Whenever I got paid, that money was gone. You know what I mean? And we're still trying to play catch up. And the work money wasn't coming in fast enough. I didn't have a full-time job. You know, I just didn't have things in order. And that was during the winter time, you know, and late winter, I should say. There's that. And then I got some jobs since then, since like, you know, I was working in November doing UPS driver helper. That didn't work out. That was a joke. If I would have known that was going to be the case, I wouldn't have done it. Then got hired at a restaurant job, which I'm still working at only on weekends. And then I was working at another grocery place only for like 2 days out of the week, but trying to make things work, you know, just trying to make everything work as much as I can. You know, I have, you know, people in my ear about, you know, what I'm doing, what I'm not doing. What else? Just, you know, just in my ear, and not in a bad way, but they're in my ear. Like, hey man, what's going on? Like, what's up with you? You know, are you all right? Like, my wife's in my ear, you know, and for good reasons. I'm not saying she was nagging me. I'm not saying people are nagging me. They were on me. They were on my head. Like, what's up? You know, like when people see that things are happening in your life, people will come and, lean into you, you know, sharpen you up a little bit. And it was rough. You know, it was rough. Because, you know, when you're in your ego of things, you know, in your pride, you don't hear things the same way. You think somebody's trying to bash on you and you become defensive, insecure, or whatever, right? And you know, take the time to hear what they're trying to tell you. It makes it hard to hear the truth, and the truth hurts. The truth hurts, but it will set you free because you're seeing what's going on within you if you're able to acknowledge it. So I'm kind of like jumping around. I'm trying to make this a long story short, okay? Because there's a lot I can go on, and I don't want to just blabber. I want to make sure that everything that I'm saying leads to a point in a good context of why I'm saying what I'm saying, you know, to help somebody out there, okay? Anyways, when the car was, you know, I'm getting the calls, I'm saying, hey, I got you. And then I was paying, don't get me wrong, I was just paying on some later payment, so I just couldn't catch up in time. So I was praying to God. I was like, God, listen. All right, now this is where I was at. God, if this car is a hindrance, please take it from me. Please take it. Because I don't want it to affect my family now. I don't want to be hanging on to something that's actually pulling me down. If you want me to keep the car, I'll keep paying on it. Not that I stopped. I never stopped. Well, I did stop after they repoed it, but I never stopped trying to make the funds to pay it. You know, that was my prayer. I'm being real. That was my prayer. And when the car was gone, it was a real bittersweet thing, but it was more sweet than it was bitter. It was a little rough, you know, having one car. We're trying to juggle things out. You know, we just had a baby. Just, you know, started working another job. McKinsey is the restaurant I was at, you know, and the grocery store. So like everything was new. You know, it was still rough because we're still coming out of what we were coming out of. And, you know, financially it was tough. And I was learning a lot about me, being a husband, being a father. The father, yeah, you know, the husband, the father, but also a man, and what that really entails. And, you know, I spoke to my cousin, he's older, and my uncle. And, you know, when you have that male perspective, especially from someone who is older and who has been through what you've been through in a way, you know, and they can tell you something that's really just straightforward. And the main thing they told me was, you know, Vince, it's no longer about you. You got to be selfless, not selfish, selfless, because it's not about you. Everything that you wanted to do before you were married, before you had kids, you could do that because there was nothing else in the way of that. Not like it's in the way, but like it's when you get married and you have kids, those things are now in the way. They're in the way you should go. Bars. Versus trying to go in the way I wanted to go, which was I was still wanting to host dance events. For those who know, I've hosted dance events, competitions and dance sessions and stuff. And I was trying to do workshops out here. That was my idea. My strategy was to do workshops to get a little bit more known, to lead to dance events and yada, yada, yada. Right. And me and my wife, we've been talking, we've been going through, a good amount of change and growth because it's been a growth season, and I realized something that I had to let go of, which was me trying to pursue the dance stuff still, because that was something I was known for. Key part, that was something I was known for. And I was trying to keep that part of me that was known to be a present thing here in Montana. And I realized I had to let that go because it was getting in the way of my husbandry and my father life, because I was focusing on the wrong things. And it's not that I'm never going to do this. I'm never going to do this again. It was, I need to focus on my wife more. I need to focus on my kids more and their future, right? And I need to be selfless. So I gave that up. I just gave it up because it's not the focus right now. The focus is get a job full time that's covering your family. You're doing what you got to do, which is where I'm at right now. So thank God for that. We're in a way better place. But I was talking to her and saying, I was hanging on to that for so long because I made that my identity. That was my identity. So I had a hard time letting go of something that I deemed as my identity. And I couldn't serve that anymore. That part of me couldn't be served because that identity was what I was known for in California, but I'm not in California. I'm in Montana. I got a whole fresh new slate right now, but a new slate with my wife now, a new slate with my kids now. You know what I mean? You picking where I'm going right now? And I had to die to my old self, giving up weed, barely drinking now. Like I don't drink. I've never been a drinker. You know what I mean? I've never been a drinker. Have I drank before? Yes, but I've never been like a drinker. I'm not like, oh yeah, let's go to the bar. Let's go. Let me get some drink. Like, nah, but I've drank. But I'm saying little to no drinking. No weed, no dance in terms of pursuing that right now, because that's not needed of me right now. When I was holding on to the car, that was my ego and my pride, trying to hang on to something as if that was a part of my identity without calling it that, but trying to make it something of me like, hey, look at me, I'm doing well. I had to let that go. God took it from me and I let him. I told him, hey, if it's doing that, cool. Hey, and here's the beauty. Here's the sweet part about my car being repoed. One, they said they will send me a letter in the mail in a month about whether I owe or not. I haven't got anything, so I don't know. I may have to call them up. I'm kind of timid to call them up because they may be like, oh yeah, you owe. But they said I'd get something in the mail, so it doesn't matter even if I call. So there's that, whatever. I haven't got anything, so thus far I haven't had to pay anything on the car, whatever was left over, if there was. Hopefully not. 2, I don't have to pay my car note anymore. I don't have to pay my car note anymore. Save some money. That was one of the biggest hits to our bills, like the biggest hit. 3, our insurance got lower. So it was like, heck yeah, like God, he was chipping away at our financial burdens, like things that was making things tougher for us, And so it ended up being more sweet. Okay. I'm working now. I'm at a way better job, a career-based job. Really good for the family. I'm loving it because I get to drive a forklift. So it's cool. It's nice. I'm learning some new stuff. Like, hey, I'm learning all that I can, get all the skills that I need, all those things. I'm saying, hey, God, if you need me to be planted here, I'm planted. I'm here because I'm here now. I don't want to go anywhere else. Like I need to provide for my family. This is where I'm at because I was learning that Vince is no longer about you. You got to be selfless. You got to be the man. You got to lead. You got to help. You got to be in your thing, man. Reading my word more. Talking to my wife more, like in terms of like engaging with her, like being more present with her. My kids too, yeah, they're still young, but I'm present with them nonetheless. wrestle with my son, talk with him, read to him, like take him outside. My daughter, she's 2 months, but I still talk to her, the same way I did with my son. So just being more present. When I come home, work is out. I ain't trying to come home and start cleaning dishes and do this and that or that like I have, but I don't like that. I like coming home, decompressing, and being present with my family, and not just trying to tend to the house and forget about my family. You know what I mean? Like there was things I was learning that I didn't have the trait of right away. It took some time to get here. So there's that. And then this is where things started to get really good. So shout out to Tara and the Guineen family. You guys have been nothing but a blessing to us. You guys have been helping us out in so many different ways that couldn't even imagine. So our friend Tara, she's been looking at cars, and she just felt led by the Spirit to look at cars, and she didn't know why. She just felt like she was needed to look for it. So she's been looking for this time frame, however long. And this is when me and my wife had one car. You can see where I'm going to. Anyways, I'm doing this job cleaning out this parking lot with the pressure washer, right? And I have to go back to Haley to pick her up, to take her so she can take me back to this job site so that way she can leave and do what she needs to do, come back, pick me up. I take her back home, and then I get ready for work. And they were at this thing they call the Ladies of Lakeside Walk. So on Thursday mornings, they go on a walk right across the lake, just right along the lake and whatnot. She's hearing us go back and forth, not in that way, but back and forth about how we're planning to do what we're going to do. Like, hey, we need to do this and do that, or I need to be done with that, She's listening to us. And I leave to go do what I need to do. And, things get figured out because she ends up getting a ride back home. So it made things much easier for us, not me having to go back and forth. And I get ready for work. I'm kind of fast forwarding the day. After I was done with this job, I came back home to get ready for work. As I'm leaving, I see Haley on the phone. She's kind of like teary-eyed. I'm like, okay, I gotta go. I can't really sit and talk about what's going on. But I could tell by how she was speaking, it wasn't nothing bad. It was something that was good. I know how Haley is. When she gets really excited about something, that's almost hard to imagine, she gets teary-eyed because she's filled with so much joy. And so I'm seeing that. I'm like, okay, something's good is happening, but whatever. I got to keep going because I got to go to work. I don't want to be late. She sends me an audio note and says, hey, Tara heard us talking about, the back and forth of the car and stuff. And she told me the story. She was telling me that she was led by the Spirit to look at a car. And she didn't know why, but then when she heard us speaking, she knew it was for us. And she pretty much wants to get us a car or give us a car. And I was like, wait, what? She wants to get us a car? Like, what? I'm like, and she sent me a link, like, this is the car that she's been looking at, and this and that, yada, yada, yada. And I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, it's cool. What else do they got? Like, I ain't trying to be picky, but I mean, yeah. I found out there was a range, and so I was telling her, it'd be more ideal if there was an 8-seater type vehicle. That'd be way better because our family's growing, like, even though it's 4 of us right now, we would like to have more kids in the future. But right now, this is, a break for right now. Give us some time before another one comes in. For people who know when you have kids back to back or just in general, like close enough, it's a lot. It's been a lot in its own self, but, growing nonetheless and beautiful at the same time. So anyways, long story short, I'm at work. Haley and her go to this city and Tara's son go to this city called Missoula. And that's where these cars they were looking for. And they found a vehicle. It was a Chevy. I think a 2008, or 7. I gotta look at it. 8-seater. Red car. It's all-wheel drive, which is perfect for us in the winter out here. Man, God blessed us through our sister Tara. Man, what a blessing and how humbling, And when you let God do what He needs to do in your life, he'll make things happen. It's just some things He needs to take away from you because those things are in the way. Imagine if I was hanging on to that car to this very day. I would probably still be behind on my payments, getting these phone calls and these letters, trying to make things happen, try to do a payment through Western Union, all those different things, just the loops and barely even saving enough for us and tithing to God. You know what I mean? Just different things. Just it would have been tougher on Haley and I financially, which ultimately can affect a relationship. It can if you're not on the same page on what you're gonna do and just trying to figure things out. People lending us money, there's different things. People ask me, well, what's Vince doing? What's Vince doing? You know, it's all that stuff. You know what I mean? But God came through. I got a new job. It's a career-based job, which is so dope. We got a new car, blessed. Got a baby, blessed. Finances got cut. Man, it's been so good, you know, and money's been coming to us from different directions, ways that we couldn't even ask or plan for. It's been good. God has been good. He is great. He's so amazing. And I wanted to share that testimony with you guys and the things that has been going on since then. Even though I did a video maybe about a month ago, you know, a lot has happened in the last like 3 months. You know what I mean? Like in those times of me sharing those videos, those things were happening. The car was maybe about 2 weeks. 2 weeks now, maybe about 2 weeks. The job almost 2 weeks ago now. So it was on the 15th of this month. You know what I mean? Like this is fresh, but things that was happening beforehand, man, it was a transition. But what I've been saying to everybody as of now is I have been dying to my old self, my old ways, my old thoughts, my old behaviors, because it's not serving where I'm at now. It's maturing me, it's growing me, it's helping me be more eyes in the sky, but looking down from a bird's eye point of view, but also still being connected to my wife who has her eyes on the ground to see things that I may not be seeing. And it may be days where it might be vice versa. But most of the time I'm up here. And I'm saying that in a way to where I know where I need to be in order for us to continue moving forward, you know, and be prosperous in how we live our life together. And I'm doing that by the Holy Spirit, to be led and to read the word and to love my wife. And honestly, I've been listening to a man named Tim Ross on YouTube, and man, he is amazing. I highly recommend that those who want to understand church better, who want to understand why these things happen to people in church, if that makes sense. And it's not just about church, but these are some of the things that has happened in the church and that we don't really get to really address. So I make a long story short, or just something short about it, what he's doing. Just imagine if you're in church, you're at church and the preacher's talking about something that may resonate with you. And you have a question, something in your mind is saying, but what about this? What if that was the case? And no. What we're not gonna do in church is, excuse me, sir or ma'am, hold that thought before you say anything else. Sorry guys, one second. You said this, you know, and I thought about, we're not gonna do that in church. We're gonna sit there and listen and go, or someone will go, amen, preach, whatever, right? We're not asking questions. Sometimes we leave the church and forget almost immediately what we just learned or what we just heard, and not take it into account and really apply where we will be in that word that is being preached to us. A lot of us, and hey, me too. I've done that. And with him, Tim Ross, he has made it to where he has a group, he has a following that will ask him questions when they do, because this is like a 2 hour long, maybe hour and a half long videos. And they'll ask him questions about certain things that the people are working through, you know, vulnerability. And he speaks so much on that, but he'll ask the questions, and if it's something that really resonates with them through the Spirit, he'll go to the Bible and quote a scripture that's able to better equate or better relate to what they're saying, and he'll navigate it in such a way where it's like, wow, that was beautiful. I never even heard the word like that. And I know a fair amount of the word, okay, a fair amount. And when he breaks it down, and I heard that word before, or I've read that verse or whatever, or that chapter, and he breaks it down the way he does, I'm like, whoa, that was amazing. He broke it down in a practical way to where I can resonate with that, and I can see myself in that, and see how I'm not growing in this way, or how I can grow in this way. And these are the tools to do it, And so one of the many tools you can do is to be vulnerable. And how you can be vulnerable via some of the things he said in his videos is, if you don't talk about it, if you don't express what you're going through, what you're struggling with, what your problems are, if you don't vocalize it, what happens is your body internalizes it, and your body starts to express those things. So it may come out in frustration, it may come out in resentment, it may come out in lust, it may come out in hatred, it may come out in a resentful way. You see what I mean? Like, depending on what you're going through, depending on what you're holding in, depending on what you're trying to hide from others. If you don't want nobody to know what's in your closet of those skeletons, all those bones, you're hiding that, and nobody knows about that, and you're just being quiet. It's showing the outward version of you and not the inward version of you. And to be vulnerable, to speak on those things when the setting is right, it'll help you, because when you speak on it, when you speak on what's going on with you, it shrinks within you. It shrinks to become smaller. So, prime example, if I don't speak about me having wanting to smoke weed, and I did it for a long time, did it for like 10 years, okay? Wanting to smoke weed, and if I didn't talk about it, it would just grow in me, and I would think and try to fight it like, I'm driving by a dispensary, I don't need to get it, I don't need it. But in reality, I do want to spend money on it. I do want to go get some weed, right? I can speak on that now, and the more I speak on it, the tinier it becomes, because I'm actually like squeezing it out to get out of me, and to get as much as I can away from me, so that I'm not as bothered by it. So when I drive by, I'm not as phased. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not internalizing it. I already spoke it out. Like, I ain't even worried about that. Like, I can easily turn, but I'm not, because that's just gonna build this up in me, and I'm making it tinier. So I'm shining the light on what's going on. So to be vulnerable is so key at where we are at in our life to help us move forward. I didn't have a proper father figure to help me understand how to be a good father. I didn't have those examples, around me all the time to see what that was like to be that male figure in the household. You know what I mean? I didn't really have that. Were they around? Yeah, they were around, but that I resonated with them as a father. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't have that relationship. I didn't have the husband to my mom that I would see on a day-to-day to see how he loves on a woman. I didn't see those things. You know what I mean? So I had to learn on my own. And when you don't have a reference, you're only leaning on your own understanding of what you think what you think is like. So I had to learn, I had to grow, and I said this before in a little chat before, but I said, I'm just a boy who was forced to grow up to become a man, so that way I can be the husband and father that I need to be. So there's a little boy in me who still sometimes doesn't feel like I am doing what I need to do as a husband for my wife, and even as a father for my kids. That little boy in me, because I didn't get that relationship, that closure necessarily from a male. That is, I'm saying from a male, not my mom. My mom, I love her. She did all the best that she could as a woman, but she can't make me a man. Does that make sense? Only a man can make a man, because a man can help a man become who he needs to be. A woman helps nurse that, but a man helps him become that. I didn't really have that. So I had to really grow up and kill some old parts of me, so that way I can really understand and my eyes be open to who my wife is to me, and how important she is to me, and how much we need to love on each other and grow with each other and learn each other inside and out, always. Because Tim Ross said this, 5 to 10 years from now, she's not going to be the same person that she is now, and same with me. I'm not. So that means I need to enjoy where she's at right now, because she's going to change soon. And I'm already changing. She's going through a change too. But I'm saying for me right now, like, I'm changing, and I'm changing pretty moderately. I don't want to say quickly, but I'm coming to a realization of how fast I need to change. Because if I don't, I'm going to miss some marks here, and it's going to start affecting our relationship in a way, or affecting my potential relationship with my kids in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to be on top of it, and have that relationship with God, and understand that, Jesus died for the church, his wife. We are his wife. He died for us. I need to die for Haley. I need to kill the old Vincent so that way new Vincent, new and improved Vincent, 2.0 Vincent, the more mature Vincent can be there, a proper like figure, foundation. Even though God already built the foundation, I'm just building the pillars on the foundation for her and to be a better version so that way we can grow together. Because if I don't grow, she's not going to necessarily grow. And that's not necessarily true, but she can only go so far without me, if that makes sense, and vice versa. So I have to die for her. If I don't, it's just not going to work out. In my personal belief, it's not going to work out. So it's been a lot, but it's been so good. It's been so amazing, and I'm so honored. I'm grateful. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. I'm way beyond blessed, man. We are way beyond blessed, and I'm grateful. Prayer works. Pray, you guys. If you don't do something, if you don't do anything, do this. Pray. Please pray. When you pray, he listens, and he's waiting for you to pray. He's waiting for you to speak on something, not to ask money for bills, not to ask for proper health. Even though that's cool, that's not what he's waiting for. He wants the real you. He wants the one that says, "Hey, Lord, I'm sorry, I stole this, or I was fornicating, or I looked at that, or I done these things, or God, forgive me. I'm so sorry. I don't ever want to do this again. I repent. Please forgive me." Or if you don't know what repent means, it means to turn away from the things you were doing. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't want to. I'm sorry, God. Forgive me. Please forgive me. He's like, yes, I got you. I've been waiting for you to say that, because now I can move in your life. Now I can make things happen in your life. Now I can show you something that was already there, but you just didn't see because you were focused on these things. You were distracted by these things. But yes, I can move now. Watch how I move. And he doesn't move in the way that we imagine. He doesn't work in the time that we want him to work. My pastor said this. He's a slow cooker. Crock pot. Slow. He's taking his time. He needs to get that flavor out of that meat, because we're like that meat. You know, we got to sit in the bag of seasoning or whatever, right? Let it soak in there overnight. Let it really come into us. All the juices, right? You get in that skillet, it's hot, it's burning, but the juices are marinating in us, right? We're becoming ripe. We're becoming juicy, depending on how you like your meat, whatever. Irrelevant, but I'm just saying, something's hitting me with that. For some reason, I'm imagining a really burnt steak. Okay, a really burnt steak, and it's been in the stove for too long, and it got burnt because the person didn't pull out the steak. So imagine you are the steak, but you're also the person who can pull out the steak. You didn't pull out your steak long enough, and now the flavor of you is gone. It's got burnt, and you're having a hard time getting that real flavor out of you. You've been holding on to it for so long, and when you need to be, satisfied, it's not the same as it used to be. So you're not good. So it's kind of thrown away, And in retrospect, I believe that saying that when you go to God and you're not praying for the proper things to be released from you, to literally let the thing that needs to come into you and marinate, you're not letting it come in because you held on to your pain, your hurt, your resentment, your whatever, you held on to it, and you're not letting God get into that part. You're getting burnt. You're getting hurt by the world. You're getting hurt by your friends and family. You're sensitive. Somebody says something like, what'd you say? Or what are you talking about? Or no, like whatever the case, you're burnt. You're just getting burnt out, and you're not releasing it. You're not releasing what's going on inside you. And so it's just festering. So release it. Tell God, hey, I'm sorry. These are the things I'm having trouble with. This is what's going on with me. Speak from the heart, because that's how he talks to us. He's in you already. He's already in you. He wants to hear the in you, not the outwardly you, not the one that says, my nose is kind of messed up. God, can you just help that in the middle? Can you just fix that? Or my eye, I have a lazy eye, so can you just fix this? God's like, I don't care about none of that. What's going on with you? Why are you insecure? Why? What's going on with you? That's not how I made you. I made you. Why are you like this? What happened to you? Talk to me. And hopefully, if you're having these thoughts to yourself, this is how I would imagine. if you're having those thoughts, it helps you dive in deep to where it's happening, where it happened, you know, insecure thoughts, not feeling loved, not feeling appreciated, not feeling those things. When I was bullied, middle school, I got introduced to pornography by coincidence, I guess. Even though I don't believe there's coincidences. But anyways, I remember one day, my mom, we went to church and was at the church. Her and this lady were speaking for like hours, and I'm in the parking lot. So we were the last two cars in the parking lot, and it was windy that day, and some little piece of paper was flying. There was a lot of things flying around, and I caught it with my foot. As a kid, I'm like 9 or 10, you know, kid stuff. I catch it, I look at it, and it's a cover, like a ripped out cover of a porno cassette from a VHS cassette thing, whatever. I took the paper copper part. And I'm just looking at it like, whoa, like, whoa, you know, and you just, when you get exposed to something in this manner, you're just looking like, whoa. And I'm sure some of us have been exposed to things that, you know, we didn't really know what we were looking at, but it kind of just makes sense. You know, when you see it, it's crazy how, as I'm talking about it, what I can see, I can still see it vividly. And I just remember looking at that, and eventually I tossed it, and then I go back to it. I don't know exactly how long that time gap was, but I go back to it. And, you know, whatever. And that was like my first time seeing that. And, you know, being in middle school, you know, time goes by, then middle school happens. I start being bullied, you know, affected in his own different ways. And, you know, years went on, got some friends, and, you know, they talking the way they talk. And not that was the talk, but, you know, that will come up in his own way. And it's what me and my friends would do. We do like comic books style sketch drawing of like stick figures. Some of them were pretty graphic, and not so graphic, like I see the details, like stick figures. It's like a stick figure thing. Like imagine a stick figure with a penis of a stick. That makes sense? Like it's just a stick drawing. And I remember laughing at those things, but also understanding what was happening with me, but not understanding, if that makes sense. Like this is one of those, your biology is, the biology of the body is happening naturally, and I don't have to even think about it. But anyways, and then, you know, I ended up looking at porn later on in my life. Not later, I shouldn't even say later. It was like in middle school, AOL days. You know, you guys, AOL, you know, yeah, all that. Anyways, yeah. And then that's been a thing, you know, for a long time in my life. And then even a year after our anniversary, our 1 year anniversary of being married, like that came up again. And looking back at that now, I've been knowing now, but now what was happening was whenever I would feel insecure, doubt, worry, like I'm not enough, like I ain't doing enough, I would go to that for that dopamine hit to feel like I got that gratification of something gratified me. But in the end, you know, I'm just feeling filthy. I'm feeling not right because it was wrong. You know, it's just rather my anniversary. Like, what's going on with me? You know, of course, you know, Haley did not sit well with that. And, you know, we've gotten a lot better in that area. I've watched this. I've gotten a lot better in this area. Like, honestly, I can't recall the last time. It's been a while. Like you're not, dang. I try not to think about the day that I stopped because I don't want to make it like it's been a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's just when I want to really dissipate to where I don't even really think about it at all. Though it is around me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, I'll make sure I block that stuff like quick because I'm sensitive. I'm still sensitive, so I keep it away from me, you know. But helped me understand the pattern of it. So pornography wasn't the issue. The issue stemmed from something back in my middle school days of not feeling like I was enough, not feeling like I was accepted. So I would go to something so my body can feel gratification. My body feels like I got something, but I didn't. You know what I mean? So I'm speaking to those who understand this. And this doesn't mean pornography. It could be an addiction of drugs, addiction of drinking, an addiction of I could say even video gaming. I can say a lot of different stuff. Addiction of eating, whatever the case, addiction of cleaning. Yeah, there can be people are addicted to cleaning and don't know why. Addiction comes in different shapes and forms. Addiction is addiction. Addiction is not one little thing. It's anything and everything. So I'm speaking to those right now who understand and those who probably didn't even know. So really sit with those things and be vulnerable. I just made a post on Facebook that I got from Tim Ross and Fred Hammond. They said this, if I can quote this right. Fred Hammond said, a lot of us, we hear the truth will set you free. And, if you know Jesus, he died for your sins, and it's like, no, you must expose what's going on inside you. You must expose that sin, that truth that's in that, so that way the truth can come out of you. And where the truth is, that's where Jesus lives. He lives in you and he knows the truth. He's waiting for you to express that truth. But, I'm paraphrasing now, so don't know who's saying who, or who's saying what. But Jesus is already in you and he's waiting for you to express what's going on with you inwardly, because a lot of us, we are really good at hiding what's going on inwardly and we only show the outwardly side of us. And we're really good at not really telling the full truth of what's, even to ourselves, of what's going on inwardly. And God is waiting for us, or Jesus, God, Holy Spirit is waiting for us to speak out what's going on with us inwardly, so that way he can be with you, properly with it, because he knows you better than you know yourself. And that's how you find out the truth. The truth about Jesus is that he's in you. And when you speak on where you're really at, the truth, the true you, the true area of all your errors, all your ways, he's right there. I guaranteed you. Please do this. If you're having issues in your life, something that's bothering you, I dare you to go pray to God. Go pray. One night. All you need is one. You don't need 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. No. You need one night. You need one day. You need one moment. You need 1 second to pray to God and tell him what's going on with you. Not that you need money. We all need money. Not that you need great help. We all need great health. Great health. We all do. Tell him what's going on with you. Tell him your addictions. Tell him when you messed up. Tell him when you cheated on somebody, your loved one. Tell him when you badmouth your mom or your dad or your friend, your cousin, your sister, whatever. Tell him, I stole this. I done that. I wanted to kill that person. I wanted to hurt. Whatever. Do it. I guarantee you, he's going to be right there. He's going to speak to you. He's going to talk to you. And he may sound like this, but he's gentle. He's going to love on you. He's not going to shame you. That's what the enemy does. God loves you. Jesus loves you. Just pray one time and watch what happens. Oh man, just one time, pray. Pray to him. Say, God, if you are real, please hear my prayer. I messed up. I lied to my wife. I cheated on my husband. I wanted to kill that person. I stole this from my mom. I did this. I committed adultery. I slept with it. Just do it. One time. One time. Watch what he does. Just watch. All right, you guys. With that being said, I'm going to end on that note. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys really got what I was saying, where I was coming from in my heart about this. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Trust God plus chill.